You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on KUTV Primetime News. On this discussion, you can share thoughts with us on our social media platforms on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, and on Twitter, KUTV_Kenya. Any questions you might be having on this Omicron COVID-19 variant, kindly let me know on the social media platforms. Now, the latest coronavirus variant named Omicron, first detected in the Southern Africa, has been classified by the World Health Organization to be of great concern. Early evidence suggests that it is more transmissible and carries a higher risk of reinfection than other variants. Just a glimpse of what Omicron is about, and today we're having a candid discussion on the matter by a health specialist, Maurice Omurwa, to demystify on the matter. So Omurwa, thank you so much for dedicating your time for this discussion. So right into the discussion of the night. When we're talking about the coronavirus variants, what is a variant? And probably you may tell us about this new variant, the Omicron.
Thank you, Ken, for having me. A variant in the context of a virus is one that has undergone a change. We call them, scientifically, we call them a mutation, a change in the structure maybe of the genome or the surface of the virus. Yes.
Right. So tell us something, at least a glimpse of what this Omicron variant is about.
Okay, like before, we've had a few other variants before, like the Delta variant, the Alpha, the Beta. Omicron is gotten from the Greek alphabet. It's the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet. The virus, because of things like geographical positions, undergoes changes. They have a very small, the genome of a virus is very small, so it could undergo changes. And the latest variant for COVID-19 is the Omicron variant, discovered in South Africa. Scientists so far say it could be more transmissible, but to be honest, the time has been just over a week. We do not have so much data on it, but there is quite some research going into it.
All right.
Yes.
Nice. Now, the World Health Organization classified the Omicron to be of great concern. So, as a country, how should we be concerned also about this variant that WHO has classified in, that named it as a variant that is of really great concern when it comes to matters of COVID-19?
Yes, a variant of great concern. We have two classifications of that, a variant of interest or a variant of great concern.
Right.
It is of great concern because the mutations or the changes that have undergone on the virus could lead to more transmissibility of it, or it could be more severe. The disease caused by the virus could be more severe, but the details of which we have not established yet. So this should not be a cause for chaos. It is not a variant of chaos, it's just a variant of concern. We be more careful with the social distancing guidelines, the public health guidelines that we had in place before, and we continue to vaccinate our people as normal.
Right.
Yes.
Now, when the experts in this field of coronavirus, they say that Omicron has a potential of bypassing the vaccine, and now the current vaccine that are on the rollout in the country and of course in the globe, where we're having Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. So will these variants, these vaccines rather, will they be of help to curb this variant that it is, instigated that it could probably bypass the vaccines?
It's too early to tell for sure if the variant bypasses these vaccines, but there is a possibility, because looking at the kind of changes that it has undergone on the surface proteins, which most of these vaccines target, it could evade immune responses. Some antibodies may not be able to recognize it, and that is the concept that vaccines work under. But as at yet, we cannot tell for sure that these vaccines are not effective on the new variant, the Omicron variant. So it is necessary that people still continue to vaccinate. Luckily enough, research nowadays takes quite a short time. You realize the time it took for us to come up with a new vaccine. Companies like Moderna have promised us that they could even come up with an Omicron-specific vaccine. So for now, we just keep on taking the current vaccine available until such a time data and research shows that this vaccine could evade, this variant could evade those vaccines.
Right.
Yes.
Now, probably in adjusting to the new variant that is in the block, the Omicron, could it be that there are additional COVID-19 containment measures, the precautions that are added to what we had before, that we should really consider to evade probably the detrimental effects of this new variant that is coming into the block?
As I said before, it is a variant of concern, not for chaos. As at yet, with the data that we have, it does not guarantee need for additional restrictions. That would be just causing panic among our people. Like any other variant, it could easily be managed with the kind of restrictions we have on hygiene, vaccinations, and physical distancing.
Now, Maurice, with the new variant, that is Omicron, are we probably headed to what we had before, the kind of lockdowns, the travel restrictions? Because we have seen the Western countries, including the United States, we've seen the UK, we've seen Japan, India, Switzerland, they're banning travels from the South African countries. And latest news is that we've seen the president for South Africa, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, decrying foul of the restriction, the travel restriction that have been imposed on South Africa and its neighboring countries. Are we seeing this leading us to where we were back from then with the lockdowns and stuff?
As of yet, there is no specific data and scientific information warranting those kind of restrictions. But if we establish for sure that the virus is more transmissible, the new variant is more transmissible, it causes more severe disease, the more deaths as a result of it, then possibly it would guarantee, it would give reason for us to have more restrictions, travel bans, but policies sometimes are country specific. We've seen from the kind of response we've gotten, especially from the West, restricting people moving in from Southern Africa, especially from South Africa and Botswana. So we expect if it gets more transmissible and it causes more severe disease, definitely that is the path we will take. Yes.
Right. Now, probably still on the same note, we have going through the international news, there was people reporting that probably with these travel bans for South Africa and its neighboring countries, it could be that the Western countries are punishing South Africa for, reaching at a level where they can now do research enough to identify kind of a virus. Because you see, these kind of research were initially being done by the Western countries, which had advanced much in science and research. And now we are seeing South Africa, a country in Africa, being at a capacity of doing research and coming up with identifying that there is a new mutation of the virus. What's your opinion on this? Do you think is it that they're punishing our country, our Africa, for getting to the level of the research?
First, it's quite commendable that South Africa could adapt its healthcare system so fast that they could be able, within a very short time, identify a new variant, and they were transparent enough to tell the world that, look guys, we have a new variant, we believe it could be behaving differently from what we previously had, and be on the lookout. But the kind of response we've gotten, especially from outside of Africa, the West especially, could be a deterrent to future transparency from other countries reporting new variants. I believe we have better ways through which we could be able to limit the spread of such variants, especially with screening at the airports. Now that we have PCR that could be able to tell that you're not infected, this could eliminate close to 99.9% of any spread of the virus. And then such cases of restricting and travel bans are unwarranted at this stage, when yet we do not have enough data on it. Taking a case at the Delta virus, it's within a week it spread across 53 countries. So restrictions really don't work.
Right.
Yeah, we could find better ways.
Nice. Now, COVID-19 for us as a country, it unmasked most of the weaknesses that we had. Lack of preparation for a pandemic, and we could see lack of capacity to do enough research on, this pandemic. And we had to rely on donors for their research. We had to rely on the donors for drugs, for PPEs, and vaccine. Now, where are we going wrong as a country, and probably what are some of the measures that you could probably suggest so that we could match South Africa that did enough research and come to identify of this new mutation, mutant of coronavirus, and so probably how can we get into the space enough to match the other Western countries who we entirely rely on when it comes to matters of coronavirus?
I think as a country we get it so wrong in so many ways. COVID aside, we've seen people, media reports that Kenyans could be having some hunger crisis in the coming days, but little effort has been put to avert such a crisis from happening. And not so many months ago, we had a dam calamity. We were not prepared for it. So we really are never prepared for any pandemics. And we get it so wrong, especially in our politics, especially how we manage our country. We need to get professionals in charge. We need to get professionals in charge of the health ministry. We need to have more cooperation between national government and county governments. We need to build our institutions like Kenya Medical Research Institute and make those institutes be headed by professionals. Institutes like Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, KEMSA, needs to be headed by professionals who understand the medical field. Until we get that right, we are not going to be able to respond adequately to pandemics.
Right. Now, probably when you're saying that the institutions of government that deals with probably policy making and some of them that handle these government agencies, because we've seen the case, we can take example of KEMSA. The kind of when coronavirus visited, the kind of misuse of public funds that were coming out later, people hoarding, people using public funds for other unintended uses. So how can we really mitigate such effects, such ugliness, such dirt that we've seen in the government agencies?
Healthcare is a very sensitive sector of our economy, and I believe doctors are best suited because there's 5 or 6 years of training make you compassionate about healthcare service. But when we get our institutions that directly deal with health being headed by people from political fields, some of those in charge of organizations like KEMSA are our Ds or political appointments, people who lost an election or such kind of things. When we get those companies and those institutions being headed by not just healthcare professionals, but just by politicians, we get it wrong. Right. They're not passionate enough about patients. They're not compassionate enough. We need doctors be in charge of them.
Now, you probably, let me just cut you short on that, because when you're saying that healthcare is very important aspect of our daily living, and as a country it should be given a lot of priority. Now, we've seen just in the recent past KEMSA, the kind of leadership that was in KEMSA, it was replaced by NYS coming in. We've seen other government entities being headed by the military. We still don't know what is in place, what is at stake for us in the near future. But from what you're saying, is it that we've already gotten it wrong and probably should consider having changes in this or what?
Yeah, we've gotten it wrong. We need changes, and we cannot militarize every sector of our economy. We cannot. It could be working for some sectors. It cannot work for every other sector. Yes, you cannot militarize all our hospitals.
Right. Now, probably I think we should wind up this. So as we wind up this discussion, what could be your probably words of advice to the country and to the population at large with the pandemic, with the new strains that are coming in? What do they really need to know? What should they consider when it comes to protecting themselves from the detrimental effect that these new strains may come up with?
We still keep guard, especially with the guidelines from the WHO as regards to keeping physical distance while in public. Even those of us who are vaccinated, keep wearing your masks because we are having new variants which may not necessarily behave like the previous variants. So keep social distancing, proper hand hygiene, that will help to keep the variant and the virus at bay. I want to urge our people, those who are within the age groups that can get vaccinated, to go for the vaccine. For as long as data shows that the vaccine works, let's get vaccinated.
Right. Yes. Right. So thank you so much, Maurice, for that. We hope that with the kind of research that are still going on, we still be having much of these discussions so that we get to bring people to speed with what is happening, what is what they really need to know concerning the new variants. Thank you so much for your time on this.
Thank you for having me.
Now that has been our discussion with Omura Maurice, who is a health specialist on this topic, the new variant in block, the Omicron variant. So with that, we're taking another very short break here on KUTV Primetime News. In a moment, we shall be coming back with more. Stay with us.